Hey Stitches, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, thank you for stopping by. Hit like if you like this kind of content. This is beauty content. I am doing a dupe the vibes, or stoop the vibes is when we dupe the vibes with the stash that we already have, of the Gourmand Girls Summerween palette. Gorgeous palette. I couldn't purchase it in time to review it, and I would like to purchase it, but I kind of already have something else in mind. And this is the look I came up with. And I was so inspired by the look, I threw on a whole little outfit. I accessorized. By the way, I made all these things myself. If you're interested in some, except for this one, this was gifted by my grandmother. But if you're interested in some tutorials on how to do this, I will have some of those coming up. But anyway, like, comment, subscribe, share if you know anybody else who loves this kind of content too, and join the Stitch family. Let's get going on this Dupe the Vibes tutorial. Editing Nisha is gonna put a picture of the inside of the palette right here. Good, I hope she did that. So what I wanted to do was kind of a fruity look. I'm gonna pull out my JUVIA'S Place Berries palette, and I think I'm gonna pull this shade and yeah, this shade. I figured those two would be some decent dupes. This shade needs a little more depth, so maybe instead of that one, and I got my baby wipes ready for this. So maybe instead of that particular one. Okay, so here we go again. We're going to take this shade, and hopefully this shade will be good dupes for that really vibrant magenta and that deep magenta purple, almost brown but not quite. So consider that duped. And I hate to be reaching into a bunch of different palettes, but like, oh well. I noticed there was a very chartreuse shade in there that I also wanted to dupe, and that I know I can dupe in my collection. And I've got two chartreuse shades. Now, chartreuse, all colors are a spectrum. Chartreuse is supposed to be the way violet is 50% blue and then 50% half blue, half red, purple. Chartreuse is like that, but with green and yellow. So I've got the Tribe palette Masai and Nori in Indigo Ink palette from Menagerie. Because I want it to be a bit more on the yellow side, I'm gonna go ahead and go with the Tribe one. For the all over the lid and the inner eye corner, I noticed that there was a very bright, shifty, peachy orange, so I'm gonna go in with Shelia in my Indigo Ink palette. You know, Shelia really, that one has been just absolutely used and abused, so swatch that like slightly off camera. So let me see if I can fix the lights in that. I don't know if that's turning up very well on my fair skin. But then again, I did not prime my wrist. So here's how that is looking. And I think we have a nice little quad to work with. Hey, what's up? I'm back and ready to dupe that, a couple of eyeshadows in that palette. All right, if I were younger, and I once was, I would be going in with the transition shade first. But as I've said before, there came just one sudden day and it happened so like the day before I could do it, and then the next day I couldn't. And I was like, why is this happening? And then I realized it's because my eyelids had aged slightly and I couldn't put the dark color over the transition color anymore. So I'm going to go in with the darkest color first. And hopefully, I don't remember what I was going to say. Anyway, gonna go in here. So gonna go in with the, and I'm not really stretching my eyelid. I mean, I am, but it's very delicate and just enough so that I can place the eyeshadow in all the crease spots. So that we can get a more even looking blend. Gonna do the other eye and be right back. All right, so now that the other eye is done, I'm gonna take a clean but smallish pinched fluffy filbert type brush and go in with this shade here. And I'm knocking some of that powder off because I don't want to go in too hot. And I'm going to start blending it right there. And by blending, I mean I'm going to place it down on top of that dark color and tap upward. And now I'm going to push it around. Windshield wiper motions. And I'm going to keep tapping that upward at this part of the brow right here. And I'm gonna just keep pushing that out and very gently swipe it around. And now we're done with that outer half. Let me do the other eye and I will be right back. I will be right back. Hey, both eyes are all magenta fuchsia'd up and ready to go. So now we're going in with the chartreuse shade, and I have to say, I don't know if JUVIA'S Place will ever bring this palette back, but you can pry it out of my cold dead hands because one, I heavily rely on this eyeshadow right here, and two, I was on the, okay, that kind of dense, fluffy, it's just another one of these but bigger, but I was on the hunt for freaking ever for the most truciest chartreuse to ever shirt. And then this came out, and are there other chartreuses? Yes. Are they this trucy? Not really. Do they still chart? Yes. Do they chart as hard as this chartreuse? I'd say Nori from Indigo Ink. And by the way, I'm just packing this on. There will be no blending of the pink and the green because they are contrasting colors, and contrasting colors don't always give the most desired effect when you blend them. And now we're going in with that bright shimmer. Take some of that NYX glitter primer on the other side of the brush that I primed my lids with. Now, I can't dupe those beautiful multi-chromes that they have in the Summerween palette. I can probably dupe most of the mattes, but I have quite a few multi and duochromes in my collection, but that's where my current collection is kind of lacking. So it's very like, is the makeup market oversaturated? Yes. Is there always something new to enjoy that you probably don't have? Yes. Do you need absolutely every single thing? No. Do you need to spend buku bucks to get a little bit? No. Do you need to spend mediocre bucks? No. So I'm going in with a little dense fluffy filbert into Shelia, and I'm just placing it and pushing it around up into the creases. I did a look kind of like this a short while ago on my TikTok and my Instagram, and if you happen across this video and you're liking what you see, feel free to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. If not, that's cool. I still love you so hard. Now, for me to get the most out of these flaky sheer eyeshadows, or these super sparkly eyeshadows, is once everything's placed and packed on, I start burnishing it. Like, just really agitate it. And I'm going in over here too, into my inner crease, because I'm trying to stick to the colors on the quad I made. So that happened. I'm sorry, I'm used to everything being that happened. Now I'm gonna take a pause and do my under eyes and eyeliner, and I'll be right back. Hey, I came back real quick I thought maybe this information might be useful to you. If you struggle with dark circles like me, I always did, even as a baby, and you're not quite sure what to do with them sometimes, here's what I do. The further down you bring your eyeshadow, and the more you just kind of embrace your dark circles and treat them like you want them there and like you want people to notice them, the better your makeup looks, and not just in pictures, the better it looks in real life. Because now, and like, you might not, even if you disagree with me, what the effect is now, instead of over brightening the under eye and just making it look out of place, what happened now is, instead of looking at my dark circles, you are now, or like my over concealed eye, you are now looking at my eyeshadow look. It works even better with flesh tone colors, but it works so well with red. It's not always the best looking with the green and blue spectrums, but with reds, oranges, browns, and pinks, it's so cute. And then I just took this little brushy brush, and I'm not putting that orange sparkly shade underneath, but okay, so now I'm gonna put my bronzer palette colors on my under eyes, do my eyeliner, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I did my lashes and my eyeliner. I went for kind of a lower winged look, and I put those half lashes that I made yesterday on, and we're gonna go into the Saharan Blush Volume 2 palette again with some random fluffy blush, and I think I want to go into this shade today and mix it with this one, and I kind of want to bring it up toward the eye. And kind of on this part of my nose. And so long as we're here, I'm going to take a highlighting brush, go into that one, and blend that kind of around here. I already went in with the darker highlighter as a brush, so, and I'm gonna space this apart and give the nose blush its own moment. Of course, you know, I'm not leaving anywhere without doing my moles. Now for the lips, MILANI Color Fetish Matte in the shade Dahlia. Bit more red than I wanted something a little bit more fuchsia, and with this on top. Flip that over. Different brush. Pull the bangs down. And so you might have noticed something. I don't do my under eyes, my waterline. I also don't use setting spray, and that's because it just doesn't work for me. So here's the finished look. Kind of want to put on some jewelry with this, but I'm gonna go put some jewelry on. And thank you for sticking with me and doing this Dupe the Vibes video. What should we call it? Like Dupe the Vibes, dupe the vibes with your stash, or stoop the vibes, stash dupe the vibes. Can we call it Stoop the Vibes? Stupid the vibes. It kind of sounds like stupefy. Okay, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this look. If you liked it, hit like, leave me a comment, let me get to know you, and share if you know anybody else, or you just loved it so much you want to share, and subscribe if you want to see more. Hit the notification bell. Thank you for sticking with me on this one, Stitches. I love you so hard. I hope this was good for you like it was good for me. And remember, it's totally okay to admire a new release and just kind of check your stash for something kind of like it. You can usually get similar looks. Anyway, love you so hard. Bye.